What if one day the entire population of a town simply vanished? No bodies, no clues, nothing to explain where they went. In the world's history, there are many places haunted by such a question, but very few stories are as chilling as the one they whisper about a village hidden deep in the hills of Anatolia, a place that the maps say doesn't exist. They call it Azem Köyü. The story of Azem village is not a tale of a disaster or a war. It's a story about a single, silent night in the distant past. The people of Azem were simple farmers. They lived quiet lives, tied to the land and the seasons. They had no reason to leave. But one morning, when a traveler came upon the village, he found it completely silent. He walked through the empty streets. The doors to the houses were wide open. He walked inside and saw overturned chairs, as if people had rushed out of them in a panic. Inside the homes, he saw bowls of half-eaten food on tables. The fires in the hearths were still glowing, still warm. It was as if time had just stopped. The villagers had vanished. Mid-sentence, mid-meal, mid-life, the most disturbing part of the story came from the rumors. People who had been near the village at night spoke of terrifying things. They said they heard a low, unnatural humming sound coming from the village. It was a sound that made the hairs on your arms stand up. Some claimed to have seen strange lights dancing in the sky above the village, and figures that looked like shadows moving through the empty streets. They said the animals were still in the barns, crying out in hunger with no one there to feed them. But there were no footprints, no signs of a struggle. Nothing. The government, so the story goes, sent investigators, but they found nothing. Just the same quiet, cold silence. The official records were supposedly sealed, and the village was erased from all maps and documents. Was it because they didn't have an answer? Or was it because what they found was too shocking to share with the public? Over the years, two main theories emerged among the people. The first comes from ancient folklore. Some believe the village was cursed by the jinn. These are supernatural beings said to live in a world parallel to our own. People who went near the village at night claimed they heard voices whispering in their ears, filling them with an overwhelming sense of dread. For many, this was the only explanation that made sense. The villagers had not vanished from our world, but had been taken to another, a world ruled by the jinn. The other theory is far more modern and far more terrifying. This theory says that the humming sound and the dancing lights were not magic, but science. A portal, a doorway to another dimension had opened in the middle of Azem village. And in that single, terrible moment, every living person was pulled through to the other side. They were not cursed. They were not taken by spirits. They were simply gone, swept away by a force of nature that we cannot begin to understand. Today, the legend of Azem Köyü lives on. The village may be gone from the maps, but it remains in the minds of those who pass nearby. People say that if you stand in the empty fields on a dark night, you can still hear the lost voices of the villagers, the same mysterious humming sound and the same terrifying feeling of a place where time has been frozen. So what is the truth? Was this an act of ancient evil, or a force of nature beyond our control? Was the government so afraid of the truth that they erased all traces of the village? Or is this all just a story, a legend told to scare children on a dark night? The answers may be lost forever, but the mystery of Azem Köyü serves as a haunting reminder. A reminder that there are places in this world where the veil between the known and the unknown is very, very thin. Places where reality can bend, and people can just disappear.